Do you remember the rub-on transfers we used to use years ago in card making and crafting? I was not a fan back then, but I just discovered gorgeous new ones from 49 and Market that make vintage artistry on our cards so easy to do. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Hashik and I am showing those 49 and Market Vintage Artistry Rub-On Transfers on 4-page bookbinding cards I learned how to make from Sam of Mixed Up Crafts. There's a link in the description box to her tutorial as well as to my blog post with more details on the cards shown and links to the products featured as well. My first sample 4-page bookbinding card features 49 and Market's Vintage Artistry Rub-On Transfers from the Sky and Navy set and also the Butter and Lilac rub-on set. So I chose the yellows and the navies for this card. Again, it's a 4-page bookbinding card is what Sam called it, and I used the vintage rub-ons there and the hearts and the butterflies on this first page as well as a beautiful die. Now again, all the details on these cards will be on my blog, but that's the first page, and then when you turn it, just look at that beautiful blue flower, and it's just like right into the page now. I just am loving this look. That's also a rub-on, and then of course Thinking of You, and even over here I added some more of the rub-ons. Here's another page just full of beautiful rub-ons in blue and yellow, and again one over here. Some more over here, and then Wishing You Joy and a place to sign it. So that was my first one that I made, and you know, I get a little intimidated when I have like a 4 sides on a fun fold or 4 pages or even more to fill up. I never know how much stamping or die cutting, it's a little bit tedious, but these, and I'm going to show you, they just make it so easy to just fill up these pages with just beautiful transfers. So again, in each set you get 6 full sheets of rub-on transfers. I've used a lot of the navy blue, of course, but here, and you get a stick to use. Here's a full page of the what they're calling Sky. So each one of these, or the whole sheet, they all can be rub-ons, so they make a lot of cards. I use some of the lace there, then there's always a bunch of words, and then there's the other lace in this set. And then of course I did use a lot of the yellow again in this one, more words, and this one has a lot of purple in it. And that's what I used in my second sample. So I made this one a happy birthday card, and I am saying happy with more butterflies and flowers. And then this one I used vellum, as Sam did in her example. So I have happy, happy, more beautiful flowers, pansies there, and then I have butterflies over here and more butterflies, and then happy birthday. So happy, happy, happy birthday. And then this last page has a bunch of those. They're very vintage, very these would make cool mixed media cards, and I think that's the next thing I'm going to try. And then from that the sentiment page, celebrate, celebrate today, celebrate today. So again, I love the fun fold, and I love the rub-on transfers I just discovered, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. So here's a template that I did. It's not perfect, but it's going to remind me and also show you pretty clearly the sizing and everything, and then I'm going to make one with you. But all of these sizes I'm going to try to put on my blog post as well. So you're going to start with 4 pieces of cardstock, and the biggest is 5 by 7. So this is going to fit into a 5 by 7 envelope. And then the next one, so that's 5 by 7, and then this is 5 by 6.5. and then 5 by 6 and 5 by 5.5. So you can see they're all 5 tall, and then the length is different on each one, so then they end up having these 4 pages. And then on all of them you're going to score at 1.5 inches, and I'll show you that. And then the vellum, I changed up the sizing a little bit. I'll show you that. And then the layering pieces on the front is going to be 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. So that is going to layer perfectly into this piece here. This layering piece is 4 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then this layering piece on the third is 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then the last one is 4 3/4 by 5 1/4. Now I have chosen to put only one layer on each page. On Sam, she did 2 layers, and all of her sizes are in her tutorial, so check that out if you like to do a lot of layering. And I think it's pretty, but I decided one layer, this is a lot of cutting already, was enough. And then this piece here is 1 1/4 by 4 3/4 that goes along the side. So I've done all that cutting as I just described, and I'm going to use a light green, and then I have the vellum pieces in there as well, and we're going to put that together. But I just wanted to show you what I'm using on this one is the Vintage Artistry Blush and Sage rub-ons. So I'm going with the greens and the pinks. And then I did use one from this Vintage Artistry Everyday Essential rub-ons. This one has 3 sheets and the other ones have 6. So it's a little less expensive, and it just has you know, really beautiful subtle rub-ons that I wanted to use one. I'm going to be making a wedding card. And then all of the different sets have matching embellishments and paper. It's just gorgeous stuff from 49 and Market. And I decided to get the Wishing Bubbles and Baubles blush stuff that I could add to some of these pages. So those are ready to go. Now I have cut the green according to the sizes that I showed you, the 5 by 5.5, 5 by 6, 5 by 6.5, and 5 by 7. And then I decided that my vellum pieces were going to match the layering pieces. So these are ready to go. And the first thing that you do on each of these green pieces is to put it, to use your scoring tool and score at 1.5 on all of them. And then you're going to bend it forward and bend it back, so that then becomes a book page. Now I have done that on all of those just to save a little time. And the next thing that we're going to do on each of these pages is to glue the vellum in place and then start putting it together. And then we're going to punch the holes in the side here. Then that's where the ribbon is going to go through. Now we're going to glue it together, but we're also going to hold it together with ribbon, which makes it very pretty. On the first 3 that I made, I just used a office hole punch, which was a little big, and that was fine, except you could really see those holes. So I decided to go and get my old Karen Foster Designs Click It machine, and so you know, any type of punch will work. I decided I wanted a little smaller, but not quite small enough for the other hand punches that I have. And this one works, and it has many different sizes. I tried to find one. I think there might be some on eBay. I really like it. And it comes with a pad that you can use, and I've created a template that is along the side here, so that I know exactly on each one where I'm going to punch, and try to keep those even, let's say. Okay, so I am going to use glue so I can make sure that these line up perfectly, or as perfect as I can get them. And of course I can do a little trimming if necessary, but I want to try to get them pretty close. And then I'm going to put these two together. And of course I'm only gluing in this area that is the side. Because it's more important how it looks on this side. This is going to be covered up. And then I am going to put this one into here. So you could use another adhesive here, but as you know, if you're using glue, a liquid glue, you can maneuver it a little bit longer than other types of adhesive. So I want to line it up here, but also try to make sure that it's lined up on this side. And before I go any further, I can see I need just a little trim on this vellum here. Okay, and then we're going to punch through 2 at a time. So I'm going to lay the template down here. Now let's see. The 1 inch line. I kind of need to be in the center of that. And you can see I went in 1 inch, and then it's centered from top to bottom as well. So it's in 1 inch from both sides. Again, that was just my own measurement. You can choose to do whatever you would like, but I try to keep these pretty even. Didn't quite make it through. There we go. And then this one. Yep. Good. All right. And then we're going to put these last 2 ones together. Then I'm going to put it on here. Let's see how, I guess I do it like this, huh? Because I want to be able to line those up and mark in the same place to punch. One more, two more. There we go. But so now we're going to attach those last two. I can see that we need a little trimming. But otherwise it looks pretty good. I'm going to also glue this on and do one more punching. Did I want to glue that first? I guess I am doing that. I think I can. I think I can mark it from the back. I hope so. Probably should have done that punching first, but let's see if we can do it this way. We're going to try. I'm thinking if I get it started, I can see where I should punch, but let's just try to finish it. There you go. So now we're going to do the fun part, and we're going to be decorating. I'm going to show you what dies I used quickly. I have a layered Congratulations from Dies to Die For, and I have a Always and Forever from Dies to Die For. I'm using layered dies from Honeybee Stamps, so I have a layered Love and a layered Mrs. and Mrs. So I'm making this card for a very, very special couple of ladies who are getting married. And then I have a it's called it's from Cutplorations, and it's Crazy Double Running Stitch rectangle die that I'm going to make a gift card or money card holder with. So of course the fun part is the decorating, and I'm going to show you a couple pages and how easy it is to use those rub-ons. In every kit or every package you get a tool for rubbing them on, and I also like to use my bone folder. So my second page is going to have Mrs. and Mrs. on it, and some pretty flowers, and then some hearts. So all you do is you just need a clean piece of cardstock, and this has a backing that comes off very easily. And then you're going to carefully lay the transfer down where you want it on your card, and it kind of sticks. But then the important thing, of course, is to transfer it from this to the paper. Once it's in the paper, it's just like really in it. It's just, I don't know, I just think they're just beautiful, and it's like kind of like magic. And of course with these, you know, it's not like a pattern paper. I get to decide exactly how much I want to put on and where I want to put them, which I think is very cool. And you're basically just going to rub, and I have a very bad wrist from a bad break that I had years ago with several surgeries, so I don't have a lot of strength in this hand, so sometimes just using the bone folder makes it a little easier. And then you're going to just start picking up the edge and very carefully lift it. And if any of it doesn't really want to lift off, that just means you need to push it in a little bit more. So just be careful. And there you can see that the flower is right into the paper. Like I said, I think it's like magic. And then, and years ago they used to have them, and I just think these are way more beautiful than any I ever saw back then. So I kind of rediscovered them, which is cool. And then we're going to put a layered misses and an ampersand. This is my favorite glue from Barely Art, and it has a really nice tip. It's also very easy to keep clean. I need my tweezers. So if it ever starts to get plugged at all, I just take it apart and run it under water and put it back together, and keep a needle in there, and I never have any issues with this glue, so I really like it. Plus there's a refill. And then we're going to take 2 hearts, 1 pink and 1 green. Come on. These ladies, of course, are very individual, so I decided to put pink on green and green on pink, and then 1 pink heart and 1 green heart. 2 hearts joined as 1, right? One doesn't seem like it's down quite enough. There we go. See how easy that is? And there's a page totally decorated. That's number 2. I'm just going to do 2 pages with you, and then the other ones are ready to go. This is going to be the front, and out of that second vintage one I showed you, I'm going to do the this across the top. How did I do that? Oh yeah, there's kind of an edge there that I used. And let's get that on. I think I should probably trim these parts off. Let's see if that's good. Nope, you can tell right away if you start lifting it and the color doesn't stay down that you need to do some more in that area. And then as you lift, if it doesn't really want to come, don't force it. Although there was one time I pulled up part of one and I didn't mean to, and I just laid it right back down in place and put it back down. I mean, and it worked just fine. So you want to be careful, but if you, I think I'm going to use this. Pull carefully, and if it doesn't want to come, now this is a real vintage look, so if a tiny bit of it's not there, well, let's just say that's supposed to look vintagey, right? Because I can see there's a little bit on the end that didn't come, but it still looks great. Now I'm going to add some color. And then I have a couple hearts and a love. Oh yeah, and I was going to maybe use some of these too, which I haven't yet. So let's start with these hearts. And this one is going to say love, but I'm going to take it right out of there and make like an eclipse look. And okay. Look at that. It just jumped right off, so we knew that heart was done, didn't we? Yep, that one doesn't want to stay down. Okay. So easy, as you can see, right? Okay, so I'm going to make like an eclipse look here on the front. So I am going to die cut the shadow of the love right out of the part that I put colored transfers on. My machine is over here on the side. Nope, I need that. Don't know if you can see it, but I got a little bit of stuff on there that I am going to take off with my adhesive eraser. Okay, so this is going to go on the front. And I think I'm going to put all these pieces together and then come back and get finished. So I finished up our wedding card. I added some ribbon and then some curly ribbon to tie that tighter, and then I used a lot of the embellishments that match from 49 and Market, so I added some hearts. And this front page is the eclipse look that I mentioned. I had cut the love right out of the rub-ons and then raised it up and put the green love on top of that, so the pattern continues, and a few more hearts there. And then, you know, what's fun is you can totally decorate this page too if you want to, but I just added one of those epoxy coated sticker embellishments there and a couple hearts. The vellum softens the look on the inside, and then we had our Mrs. and Mrs. page, and then on my third page I said always and forever and had some lace and some of the greens. And so on this side I continued the lace idea just to from this page to this page. And then here I die cut a rectangle and I made it into a gift card holder. Of course you could slide a check or cash in there too for you, with some more hearts and some more of the beautiful rub-ons. And then the last page says congratulations, and a couple more of the rub-ons, and then of course left an area for us to sign the card. So I love how all these 4-page bookbinding cards turned out with the Vintage Artistry Rub-On Transfers from $49 in Market, and I hope my cards encourage you to give some of these products and this fun fold a try. Thanks for watching, sharing, and subscribing, and thanks too for helping me share the joy of creativity.